Alright guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to discuss primes. If you didn't know, this is an array of all of the primes between 0 and 100. The question is, how do we generate them? We'll start with just a grid of all the numbers, and we can just knock out ones that aren't prime. We'll choose 2, which we know is prime, but all the multiples of 2 wouldn't be prime, so we can get rid of them. Then we move on to 3. Its multiples are like 9, 12, 21, so we get rid of all of them. And then move on to 5. You get the idea now. 7. We can stop at 10, which is the square root of 100, because if we chose 11, all the multiples of that would be like 22, 33, 44. All of those are already handled by multiples of numbers we've already done, so we stop here. There you have it, all of the primes between 0 and 99. Okay, so to generate this in code, what we're going to do is start with an iterator of size max, and then fill it with the numbers in consecutive order. Any number that's not prime, we're going to mark as 0. So we're going to go through all the numbers between 0 and maximum. If it's already prime, then we can continue. Otherwise, we'll go through all the numbers again, starting at 2, calculate the multiple. If the multiple is already larger than maximum, then we can break. Otherwise, we'll mark the multiple as 0, so we know it's not prime. And finally, filter out all the numbers that are 0 and return it as an array. Okay, we could be done here, but there are ways to optimize it and make it more efficient. So let's start with a brand new method. And we don't actually need to use an int array at all. We can just use a Boolean array, where if it's set to true, then it means it's prime at that index. So we'll start with our first prime number, which is 2, and mark it as true. After 2, it's only odd numbers that are prime, so we'll start at 3, increment by 2, and mark all of those as true for now. Then we'll calculate the number of values we've just set to true, which is just max over 2. The reason this works is because although we haven't included 1 as prime, we have included 2, so it's just simple max divided by 2. Then we'll go through all of our candidate primes again, so starting at 3 and incrementing by 2. And we know we can stop at the square root of max, but a more efficient way of checking this is just doing I squared is smaller than max. And we'll check to see if it's already marked as prime. If it is, we continue. Then we'll go through all the multiples of I, starting I squared and stopping at maximum, and of course incrementing by I each time. And we check to see if we are already prime, and if we are, then we mark it as prime equals false, and decrement the prime count. The reason we need this if statement is for numbers like 30, that will get marked as false for multiples of 3, but also multiples of 5. So we don't want to decrement the primes count twice. Finally, we need to return our array of primes. So we'll create a new array of size prime count, and then just fill it with all the indexes set to true in our array. And that's it, we're done. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks a lot and happy coding.